So what we are seeing in the bathroom in general, when you go back, let's say, for the last 20 or 30 years, it was a room of pure hygiene. And so it has changed dramatically in the room where you are, yes, relax on your own, where you have well-being, where you have the time to share, the luxury to be on your own. And this is a big change that the bathroom has undergone over the last years. This was accompanied by, in the last years especially, by a great development towards individuality. The bathroom very often, yes, is an expression of the person or of the personalities of the owner of the house, of the apartment. So the options that the industry, and especially we as a company on the brand Axor, is giving, yes, to the interior designers and architects to clad this bathroom, to furnish it in the most individual way possible, is for certain something that has come up in the last years and that we are supporting in a substantial way. Then if we have a look at the development of the big cities in the world, there's upcoming with apartments, rooms have becoming a little bit more smaller, and so this is what we are saying, our contribution to compact luxury, that you have the same kind of feeling, that you have the same kind of well-being experience with water in a smaller room. And as a matter of course, the conscious luxury, so we are here at the topic of sustainability, has been something that for Hansgrohe as a company is not new. Really, for decades we have been working on this item as far as production sites is concerned, but also and the topic of saving water and energy without, yes, losing, yes, the experience you would like to have in the bathrooms. And I would say these are the major developments in the bathroom that we see, and that has not only been, I would say, accompanied by this, that have been driven also by the company of Hansgrohe, and in the case of my brand of Axor in the upper segment here.
And I'll answer through maybe two paradigms. One is our own journey as Hansgrohe India, and then of course as the consumer's journey as well. So Hansgrohe India has been there in terms of its products for the last 20 years, but as a full-fledged subsidiary for the last 10 years. And to some extent, if you see the way we've worked about these last 10 years is first get through our fundamentals of building organization, building structure, processes. But in the last few years have been highly transitional into a more aggressive, more visible, more dominant brand in the country. We of course, restrict ourselves or let's say participate largely in the premium and luxury space. So we are clear in terms of our engagements with designers that we are focusing on. Now, simultaneously, if you look at the paradigm of the external market, a lot has changed. The bathroom, as Michael pointed out, spaces are getting more premium. We've obviously seen that consumers in the smaller spaces still want individualism to come in. I'll talk about three trends that I've seen on the consumer side. One is, something that we call as liberated living. So the consumer doesn't want to compartmentalize things right now. So it's not really a bathroom and a living room. It's an extension of the living room where it's still about a holistic experience. It's still about an experience that caters to your particular requirement, but it's also a little bit more in terms of the traditional markers of wealth having changed. And that comes over to the second point, which is a bit about immaterial affluence. So the consumer wants that, he's no longer worried about the traditional way of being given an experiential experience. For example, more was more, now less is more. The third point is about the conscious well-being. So if you look at all the three aspects, our company, through our pillars of design, innovation, and of course, finally technology, are catering to the new trends that are emerging in the market as well. Bathrooms were very, very functional. and I think no longer. I think they've moved far beyond functionality and resonate more on the experience side right now. So one is in terms of our ability to translate our global expertise in the India market. We work with the best of designers, the global leading design firms across the country. And what this does is that this enables us to amalgamate multiple cultures, incorporate not just design from a shape perspective, but also from the elements, choice of materials. Come out with products like Axor My Edition, for example, which has got a base, which is a faucet body, but has the top of the base like a stage, where each person can choose a product combination that works for their design language. You can have a head made out of leather. You can have a marble finish. You can actually have the warmth of American walnut. So the ability to transform customer individualization and customization through our products that we offer, and this is also done through our partnerships with global design firms. The second is the technology aspect. I think you talked about how we've changed the experience. I will first say the multi-sensory experience that the consumers want now. And ultimately, it was always about water touching your human body. Now we have products like Rain Tunes, which we are launching globally, where we have 5 senses that we play with: water, video, sound, even fragrance. Imagine that we are talking about a multi-sensory mode, and light. So this is where we completely elevate the experience using the global technology that we have. And also a very important factor is how the brand comes across to the consumer at every touch point. So we cannot only look at the design side or the product side or the engagement with the A&Ds. Our trade showrooms, you walk into a Hansgrohe store across the country, products are live, they deliver a certain kind of an experience and elegance. And that is where we say that every connect that the consumer has with the brand should replicate the same consistency and what the brand stands for. So I think having done a lot of that is where we kind of play our part.
So I'm answering the question more on the global side. What I did not mention at the very beginning when you asked me for the different developments was what Hansgrohe, but especially Axor, did in a very strong way was bringing design into the bathroom. And I said when you look back, it was not very nice products. So it was really Hansgrohe and Axor as the first ones who thought about to bring nice shapes and to bring nice forms into the bathroom. And we said from the very beginning that this is only possible when we collaborate with designers from outside, not our own ones, and really with the best ones. And this we succeeded over more than nearly 13 years now, that with Philipp Stark, with Antonio Citerio, Patricia Okoyola, Phoenix or Barbara Oscarby, we have a very close relationship in developing products from a design perspective and combining this with the uniqueness of German engineering and German quality. And I think this was the major contribution of the brand Axor and of the Hansgrohe company to the bathroom, that apart from functionality and sustainability, the need for individuality, we always have it under the roof of the best design that is possible. So this is our contribution on that from a global point of view. So it's my second time in India. I have been here 2 years ago, and I must say that the response in India is overwhelming. It's not great, it's overwhelming, because as I had the possibility to visit several cities in these 2 tours, and I'm meeting our partners, I'm meeting interior designers and architects at the events we are doing, and everywhere everybody is saying, this is exactly the right thing, what you are doing for the Indian market. And so the design in general of AXO is an international design, and you meet here in India in all the cities. Yes, the target group of people with an internationality. Everybody knows, unfortunately, not in the last 2 years, but everybody is traveling around the world. I'm looking forward to welcome many of the people I've met in 3 weeks at the Salone del Mobile, the furniture in fair in Milan. And yes, this traveling and this internationality you can see overall here in India, and this is exactly yes, matching very well together our offer and yes, what is wished here in India for the bathroom. So I have to say it fits together perfectly.
Actually, what we are doing very well is to move the entire thing from the product to the experience. And I think for a luxury brand, that's very important. So the way we are connecting as a company and as an organization with the key stakeholders is, I think, what is driving our success. We've just had 3 workshops in 3 different cities prior to this, and it was purely experiential. In fact, we had actually virtually no product display on that as well. So we are working on our ideology, we are working on our history. We have a bunch of crazy designers working with a bunch of crazy German engineers, hopefully delivering to the craziest Indian consumers in mind. So that's I think something that's really working. We've invested a lot in that lately, and we will continue to. I think the first is to tie up with the best of agencies across the globe, the people who are able to make that connect with our key stakeholders better. We have a lovely example over here as well. Also, reach out to media publications, the houses that ultimately are the conduit as well. But not just that, on a more functional perspective and a business perspective, invest in a trade footprint across the country. So we now have more than 100 stores in more than 58 cities across the country. That's a very strong operational visibility of the brand and a connect across the globe. But not just that, we are present in large trade shows. We were in ASTEC last year. The brand is much more visible. We intend to be in much more forums. So on a consistent level across the key forums that enable us to reach out largely to the design fraternity, but also to all other stakeholders over there. These are the kind of investments that we are doing. Actually, the next 2 years will be very, very exciting for us. One, of course, because of the way the growth story grows for us, we this year probably will contribute more than 10% of the global growth only from India. So that's a thing we are very, very proud of. But I think on a much more macro and a larger perspective, we've always been true to the premium and luxury DNA that we carry. But in order to meet our company's growth aspirations as well, we are going to get into an actionable phase of owning the full bathroom, which means a category expansion phase. So far we've been only in faucets and showers. We are now going to enter into ceramics, into bathroom furniture and more. So it is normally unveiled at the Ish Fair that happens in the March of 2023, where you will see a lot more that Hansgrohe has to offer. And then globally it will be rolled out, and I think it's my pleasure to say that India will be one of the early markets where the product accessibility will be there.